All right, what's going on, guys? Jacob here, and today we're talking about inbound sales versus outbound sales. Before I jump into it, if you like the Bitcoin Standard book, Think and Grow Rich, or my Matt back here, or my uncle's Annapolis Classic Cars hat, he's a car dealer, or me flexing on the haters. I can't believe I just did that. Anyway, if you like any of that stuff, drop a like for the video because it really helps me out. And that being said, let's jump into it. So outbound sales versus inbound sales, we're going to talk about what the differences are, pros and cons, which you should be doing, when you should be doing them. And the reason I was inspired to make this video is because there's a lot of people searching for it on YouTube and I want more views. But also because I was doing a lot of cold calling today. I booked myself a few meetings and I wanted to talk about inbound versus outbound sales. So let's start with inbound sales. What is inbound sales? Inbound sales is anytime the customer or the prospect, reaches out to you as the company. So they might find you on Google. If they search up a topic on Google, they land on a blog post, and then they download a newsletter or a lead magnet, realistically a lead magnet, they are now an inbound lead. Or if they just land on your site and give you a phone call, that's inbound. If a referral comes in, right? They ask their friends for a good marketing agency and they recommend Experiment 27 where we do done-for-you marketing. We should check it out. That's an inbound lead, right? Or when I have consulting clients that watch these videos and then book a call with me down below, if you want to book a call, it's $200 and I'll help you with your sales or cold email. Like I've helped other people before make thousands and thousands of dollars. That's also an inbound lead, right? So when people hear on my YouTube channel that the agency where I work has closed over 100 million for our clients, or that I've generated close to $1 million in 6 months for that agency, and they want to contact me or contact the agency to work with us, that is an inbound lead. An outbound lead or an outbound sale is when you as the salesperson is contacting the potential customer, right? It's the other way around. So you make a list of 100 businesses that you want to work with. Let's say you in the past have helped my friend, for example, runs a content marketing agency and he has a lot of case studies or success with SaaS companies. So he cold emails other SaaS companies with his case study and basically pitches them on his services, and when it's dialed in, he books meetings, he gets on sales calls, he closes clients, right? And that's what I do. I work with agencies all the time. I cold email agencies, I cold email business owners. I reach out to them, I cold call them, and I book myself meetings. I eat what I kill, I'm a hunter. And whatever meetings I book, I get on the phone call, I run the discovery, I close the sale. So that's the difference. Inbound is when someone from a customer comes in to talk to you, and outbound is when you go out to the customer. So let's talk about inbound pros and cons. So what are the pros of inbound? Inbound is really great because the deals are super easy to close, right? When the person, for a few reasons, when the person comes to your business, especially through a referral, they already have the trust factor with their friend, which is one of the most important things when it comes to selling, right? They already trust you because they were recommended to you by someone that they trust. So referrals are super easy. The next best thing is an inbound lead, right? When I get on consulting calls with people from my YouTube channel, it's very easy for me to sell them my consulting services because they already watch these videos. They already like and trust me enough to reach out to want to work with me. So really it's a matter of me screening them out and seeing if they're a good fit for me or not. And if they are, they're pretty much always going to buy. So in that situation, because of that, inbound is much easier to close. It's also usually a faster sale. You can close a deal in 1 or 2 calls because when the person reaches out to you, they're most of the time, sometimes it's not the case, they're looking for the future, but most of the time they're in the market for what you're offering right now, and that's why they reached out to you, right? You wouldn't fill out or you wouldn't pay for a coaching call with me, or you wouldn't want to work with me or X27 or contact us unless you had a problem with marketing and sales and cold email that you wanted to solve sometime in the near future, right? Until that pain is great enough that it makes you take action, you're not gonna. My point is, by the time you actually reach out, your pain is such that you are ready to buy very soon, which is why the sales cycle for an inbound lead is shorter. So in summary, inbound leads are really good because number one, it's an easy sale, it's a faster sale. And number three, you don't really have to do that much to get the sale. You have to produce the content or produce the videos or get a good referral, but other than that, they reach out to you and it's pretty easy, right? So those are the 3 main benefits of inbound. It's just a lot easier. But there are some drawbacks to inbound, and this is a problem that I see all the time with a lot of my clients, and that's why I love outbound and why I think outbound is the best overall strategy if you had to pick one. But both of them have their place. What are the drawbacks of inbound? One of the main drawbacks of inbound is you don't really know who's going to come into the funnel, and you don't know when they're going to come in, and that's really an issue because as a business owner, you never want to be in a position where your revenue or your growth is going to come down to luck. You never want to be in a position where you're hoping you're going to get more customers, because that's not how you keep the lights on. You want to know where your next dollar is coming from so you can keep paying people, keep paying expenses, be profitable, all that stuff. And with inbound, especially if you're only relying on referrals, you may go a few months before you get a referral. I was talking to a guy that really wanted to hire me, but couldn't afford it because he hadn't closed a deal in 3 or 4 months, and he was relying on referrals for growth. So he's like, next time I get a client, I don't know when it's going to be, I'll hire you to get me more clients, right? But that's not a position you want to be in. So the unpredictability of inbound is not good. The other problem with inbound is you don't have any control over who is coming in. So not only the timeline of who's coming in, of when they're coming in, but who is actually coming in. So for example, if you have, let's say you want to work with like a Fortune 500 company, or you want to work with clients that can pay a lot more, you might be stuck with small business owners coming in to hire you, right? And you have no control over who's reaching out, right? I can make content, for example, tailored to a certain audience, but ultimately I don't know specifically who I'm going to be speaking with once the contact form is filled in or filled out, whatever you prefer. So if you want to have a certain list of customers that are very specific, you don't have as much control over that, and your ideal unicorn customers are probably not going to contact you by chance from inbound, right? It's going to be very rare that happens. So, and then there's one more drawback with inbound, and it's really just that when you're only relying on inbound, you're not really a great salesperson, okay? A true salesman needs to be able to eat what they kill. A true salesperson needs to be able to go out and cold call, go out and cold email, DM people, like just approach people, knock on doors, right? A real salesman knows how to generate their own pipeline, because a real salesman is responsible for their success or failure of themselves and the company. And really just a good person in general should take responsibility for their life and everyone around them. And that means that if you are a salesperson that's relying on inbound, you're relying on the company to give you more leads, give you more business, or you're a business owner and you're relying on just customers to fall out of the sky, if you don't hit your quota or you don't hit your sales target, now you're gonna blame the company. Oh, the marketing team didn't give me enough leads. Oh, I didn't get enough leads, or that's excuses. That's a victim mindset. And when you're a victim, you never are able to change your mindset such that you will be in a position to take action and to fix the problem and to achieve your goals. In order to achieve your goals, in order to have success, you have to have a victor mindset and be in a positive state of mind and take responsibility for your outcomes. And that means you have to be in a position to actually go and get your own prospects, your own leads, and close your own deals. I've been selling at X27 for the first 6 months. I didn't get a single inbound lead, and I closed close to $1 million in contract value, all from outbound, because I now am always able to generate my own pipeline, and I feel confident in that. So now let's go over to outbound sales. There are pros and cons to outbound, and it's kind of the inverse of inbound. So outbound sales is, again, when you go out to someone and you knock on their door. So what are the pros of outbound sales? The first pro is that it's very predictable and very consistent, okay? Once you have a cold email campaign dialed in, such that it's booking, let's say you're getting a 5% meeting book rate. So out of every 100 emails that you send, you get 5 meetings. Or today, I made 60 cold calls and I booked myself 2 meetings. I forget, I'm not good enough at math to, like, it's 1 divided by 30, which is probably like a 3% meeting book rate, something like that, somewhere around there. So I know that out of every 100 cold calls that I make, I'm going to book 3 meetings. Or out of every 100 emails I send, I'm going to book 5 meetings. And if you know that out of 5 meetings, you're going to close 1 sale, that means every 100 emails is 1 sale. And if 1 sale is worth $100,000, that means each email you send is worth $1,000. So if you want to make $1 million, then you send 1,000 emails and you'll make $1 million. That's how predictable outbound can be. And you can do some more stuff with inbound, but outbound's that specific, right? So you have very predictable revenue, which is great. And in fact, on my whiteboard right over here, I've got a countdown of my revenue target and how many emails I need to send to hit that goal. So you can be very specific with your outbound and have very predictable cash flow and just consistently close sales. And that's really the place you want to be in. So that's one of the benefits of outbound. And then another benefit of outbound is that you get to choose who you're going to work with, right? So if you know that you want to work with this certain set of dream clients that have over 100 employees but under 500, you want to talk to the CEO of that company, and they're in a certain industry, a certain niche, everything, you know exactly who you're reaching out to before you reach out to them. So you're only going to be talking to the exact people that you want to reach, right? So that's another benefit of outbound. You can be picky about who you're actually going to work with and who you're going to select. So you can target the bigger brands that will pay you more for the exact same thing. And by the way, if you want to help finding these people for outbound, if you want help with lead generation and that kind of thing, you can grab my lead generation training document down below in the description. And that's going to help you generate leads, find the right decision makers, find their companies, find their emails and validate them. Even if an email tool, a normal one, wouldn't, help you with that, I have some tricks in there that will show you some hacks to find their emails much better, much more efficiently, and lower your bounce rate to 0. So you avoid spam, book more meetings, make more money. In fact, one of my students actually got his first client paying him thousands of dollars a month after getting this document. So I highly recommend you check it out. You can get it for free. Click the link down below, give me your email, and I'll send it over to you. That being said, back to outbound. You can be very picky with who you work with. You can close larger deals. It's more predictable. And those are 3 of the main benefits of outbound. The other, I think, 3rd or 4th benefit of outbound is that it's a lot harder, which is kind of a con, but it's also a pro, because if you can master outbound, inbound is a walk in the park. And because you have to really dial in your messaging. You have to really think about the value that you're providing, the problem that you're solving, your pitch, your delivery. Everything needs to be on point, right? If you can go out to a stranger and convince them to pay you thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars that has never met you before, you can do anything, right? Right now I'm cold calling to sell occupational health services for one of my clients. Long story how I got there. I should be back on X27 sales soon. But anyway, I'm selling this crazy service and I'm booking meetings. If I can do this, stone cold selling some random thing, I can sell anything, right? And that's the position that you want to be in. So by doing outbound and by honing your craft, you're going to really perfect your outbound, or just your sales abilities, your communication skills, your problem solving skills, your persistence, your confidence. Everything that you need to be a good salesperson is really sharpened with outbound. And you know how to ask the right questions. All that stuff that you need for sales, you learn through outbound. You can take an outbound closer and put them into an inbound role and they'll crush it. But taking an inbound salesperson and bringing them to the outbound world is not going to work, because if they don't know how to ask the right questions, how to prospect, all that stuff, they're going to fail. So outbound really gets you dialed in. And then when you have a landing page, when you're on a podcast or whatever, you can use your elevator pitch from outbound and really nail in your messaging. So I think outbound, aside from being predictable and getting larger deals, it really turns you into a really good salesman that can excel in all areas of sales and business, which is the most important thing, is sales. So that's another benefit of outbound. Now, there are some cons of outbound. It's a lot of work. It's really hard. You get a lot of no's. You get a lot of rejection. It's a lot harder to close a sale. The sales cycles take longer because these people don't know you, right? And a lot of them aren't in the market and they don't trust you as much. And it takes a lot more skill, right? So the main drawbacks of outbound are that it takes longer. It's harder. You have to go through a lot of rejection. But in the end, it is totally worth it. You can make a lot of money with outbound. And if you're a startup, using an outbound sales team is one of the best ways to go, because you don't have to spend any money on marketing or content or whatever. You just get your sales team to go in there and grow the team. So for example, at X27, we had 3 guys on the outbound sales team, and within 6 months, we brought the company up to over $1 million. So I think that it's safe to say that outbound is pretty effective. And now we're just starting to get our inbound leads coming in. So I would highly recommend outbound. Although I would highly recommend inbound as well. Every healthy strategy has a mix of both. I would start with one or the other, preferably outbound. And then once you are nailing it and growing and everything's going well, you can switch to a hybrid of outbound and inbound, right? That's my take on it though. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and more people will be able to watch the video, which will help them as well. Let me know what you prefer, inbound or outbound, and why down in the comments below. And if you are new here, subscribe, because I post videos about sales and cold email on a weekly basis, and I want to help you out too. One more time, you can book a coaching call with me down below for $200, where I'll help you with your sales, your cold email, all that stuff. And if you want the lead generation training document, it's down there as well. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.